I'm just trying a few things out with. A few things. Gosh dang it. Lots of precision work for... Oh, man. It's gonna drive me crazy. Okay. Hello, how's it going? Sorry I'm not the most talkative. I've just been a little... Feels like I'm doing rocket surgery just to get these things glued in right. How's everybody doing, though? I'm not dropping all my beads. Thank you, T-Zone. Just struggling bit by bit to get these beads on, because I don't have a lot of experience and I wasn't sure how I wanted to do this. I just didn't want to have to use the terrain to sit this guy down on his base. Now it's costing me. This is definitely going to take a while. Da-da. Oh yeah. It's definitely gonna take a while, but I'm enjoying how it's turning out. I like the idea, so I'm just hoping that I'm able to kind of get things locked down and working. Oh. A little bit of that. Okay. Just gonna put a little bit more super glue on the stack. And then I'm gonna let that solidify. Because it's definitely working. It's gonna take a while and I wanna be careful with how much more I throw on there. But the initial idea is with this guy, do a much more plain base. But I'm gonna use the bubble jets that I'm creating to kind of put a little propellant kind of arcing around just to hold them on the base. So gonna take a long time for that to work out as well as I want, especially for the angle I'm going with, but I'm excited for how that turns out. But I'm gonna take a break to let this guy solidify a bit. This guy was much more simple, just throwing him onto some corals. So that one's pretty easy, but I also need to build up because I've got an entire box for 5 and I only got 2 guys built, so we'll see what we make with the other 3. Let's see. Sprue after sprue after sprue. Alright, I need to give this guy some accessories. Because he doesn't have a whole lot. I feel like some ammo packs might be good for him. Trying to see with accessory-wise what I want to throw onto this guy. For him, he's pretty much Just very simple right now. I'm thinking maybe a shield on that arm with a gun, maybe? Thicken a shield. Definitely want to get some purity seals on him. But we'll see. Okay. Oh, come on. Now is not the time. Gosh dang it. Okay. I should hopefully lock down the ammo packs and the grenades to his belt. Just gonna leave that like that. Okay. Now let's try building into the next guy. Once I find the instructions to know which pieces are supposed to go where. Okay. Those spruce can go over there. That. We'll keep this one off to the side. So I'm gonna need that one. Honestly, the blade's worn out enough that I might as well replace this one. There we go. Yeah, 14 and 16 for the legs. Okay. thank goodness. Okay. See, I forgot this guy with the jets. I'll probably have to do this guy with the jets as well. Could make sense. I might turn him on his side, though. What kind of sprues do I got for swords? Because most of them have it in their left arm. Got a dude with a right arm sword. Is it really just right arm right arm gun, left arm sword only in this kit? That's kind of annoying, honestly. Like, seriously, what do you mean you're gonna give me a bunch of powers? You're gonna give me one power sword and a bunch of chain swords, and they're all only gonna be for one hand? Like, really? They're all lefties with swords? That's kind of tragic. Alright, well. If that's the case, we're gonna disregard everything then. We're just gonna use the power fist on one guy. Not so much that not particularly because I like the power fist, but just because the fact that they're all left-handed swords and nothing in the right hand just bothers me. So, dropping off that right there. Now where's that hand? There it is, okay. So we're gonna carefully take off this hand, and then we're gonna throw it onto him. I am gonna be salty though about the fact that oh, okay, yeah. Necrons are a good legion. Yeah, I normally just do a lot of D&D minis, so kind of more of like, I mostly just stick with these guys. However, I don't have a lot of experience, but I like Warhammer, so I just figured I'll try Space Marines to try to learn something. And I will say, right now I am super salty only because going through this kit, I have found that for some reason, with the jump pack intercessors, they only have left-handed sword arms. None of these, either the chain swords and the one power sword in this kit, all of them are for left hands only. It is bothering me because every single guy with the sword just gets in his left hand. He only gets a gun in the right hand. Nothing different. It's kind of annoying. So I'm stealing this from a, what's it called? I'm stealing this from my Eradicator box. So I'm going to give him a dramatic pointing finger, and I'm going to give him the power fist that's in the kit. Because if I can't use gun in left hand, and I can't use sword in right hand, then I'm just going to make do with what I can. What kind of Necrons are you building, though? Because I will say, I do like the Necrons, and I was looking at getting some of the Locusts and the Hexmark stuff, because I like those guys. Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely annoying. Just started Warhammer 2 months ago. Okay. Nice. I started my Warhammer journey back in 2020, so I'm definitely new to it. Hells yeah, Silent King's fun. Second Doomsday arc, holy crap. Okay, yeah, you got some of the good stuff then. Yeah, I am new to the tabletop side of Warhammer, because for the most part I've been very much, whatchamacallit, I've just been more of, like, I read the books and I've played some of the video games, but I never got into the tabletop. I figured, you know, I should probably get into the tabletop sometime. Probably a good idea. But, hey, better late than never. And I seem to be late at most things nowadays, so. Yeah, what kind of color pattern are you doing for the Necrons? Because the official one's cool, but I do like what I've seen with some of the other people when they homebrew their own dynasty colors. That sounds about right. As my favorite quote from a Russian Badger video is, just a picture of the Dreadnought burning a giant pallet of money. Even in debt, I still serve. It's very much how it feels with some of these kits. Love this stuff. I love building, I love painting. Like, I still need to finish painting and getting the decals on these guys. But yeah, they are expensive. And it doesn't help that I'm also playing Magic the Gathering and building some new decks. So, money. Money is something I wish I had, but I will not for a long time. Silver gold, but also some dark green to match the Dynasty I chose. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty good. And hey, as long as it's fun to paint and you enjoy it, that's what matters most. Because if you got a paint scheme that you just don't like doing, that would just cost people. Link, stop doing that. Get back a bit more. Never played D&D. How would you compare that to Warhammer if you can? I like D&D a lot, but D&D, for me, it's kind of make or break on your party. Because the whole idea is you just have... I'm just going to move some things around just so I can show. You've got a group of people working together to go kill creature. So you take turns on the combat, and depending on what character class you choose, it can be really fun. It also depends on your playstyle and what you consider fun. The main thing with D&D is that I am a roleplay kind of player for D&D, so I like having parties where we have characters that are just unhinged. Because the main objective is you're supposed to explore the world, have fun, and do things. But the problem with D&D in general is that if you don't have a party that like to roleplay as much as I do, it's kind of difficult to get involved in the story of what you're doing. So there's definitely rhyme and reason to do things, but essentially, the best way I can compare is similar to Left 4 Dead or any of the other genre in we gathered 4 people to go do something that we don't want to do. I assembled a crack team of, honestly, whatever the hell I could afford, and just sending them out to the wild and hoping they can save us. That's kind of what it boils down to for D&D. So sometimes it works really well, other times not so much. But for the most part, it's basically just a tabletop roleplay game of fuck around and find out, where sometimes you are fucking around and sometimes you are finding out. It really depends on the type of character you play and the campaign you're in. I very much like to fuck around and find out because I like playing bards, where the entire point of a bard is screw with everybody, have fun, screw with them, and just make sure that you keep your party working relatively okay and be the negotiator. But I don't know, D&D is just kind of, it's just fantasy, run around, do objectives. So normally with D&D you just collect single figures, so for example, this is part of a small force I'm assembling as a Kenku army. This is an individual character just by himself, but then I have been slowly buying extra minis to get an entire group together, so that's a war band that can terrorize my party whenever they're running in the wild. However, you play by one person at a time. There are expansion rules if you want to do large-scale war stuff, but for the most part, you're doing, I have this many, this is my character, I move it X amount of space over here for their movement, I do 1 or 2 attacks, or I cast a spell, and then that's the end of my turn. That's just kind of how involved, like, that's as involved as it can get. It's mostly just single characters. If you want to buy a bunch of characters and give them a similar paint job, you can make them a bit more cohesive. But for the most part with D&D, you just play as a single person on the tabletop, and you and the group you're playing with all just run around doing things, and the DM just has to figure out what you guys are able to do according to what he has planned. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And I sincerely hope Vulcan does live. Vulcan is one of the better Primarchs that definitely needs to come back. And this has got to go. But yeah, I like D&D just because it's kind of like the tabletop game that my friends got me into. Because I always wanted to play it, and back in 2021, a few of my friends just went, hey, we have a group that we get together and we play. And so I play with them on Sundays. Right now, we're taking a break from the previous campaign we've been running for the past 3 years. And so we're just doing a Wild West setting that I'm DMing for the party. Yeah, one day Vulcan needs to come back, because Vulcan coming back would be fun. I will say, though, for Warhammer, now that the Primarchs are coming back, Abaddon really doesn't feel like that much of a threat anymore. I know that's kind of heretical to say in a way, because I do like the Chaos factions. Like, Iron Warriors are my favorites in the setting. But straight up, the fact that we have so many Primarchs back, it just makes Abaddon not feel like a threat for the most part. Yeah, 3 years. I mean, Abaddon never was a threat, don't get me wrong. As far as Abaddon's accomplishments, he's done just about nothing. But I just mean in the sense of, Abaddon, now that we have a bunch of Primarchs back, what is there for Abaddon to do to make him a threat? Because, okay, he blew up Cadia by sacrificing a rare, not able to manufacture ship. And then we got Gilliman. We've got, like, I don't know. He just doesn't stack up to any of the other Primarchs right now. Not that you necessarily have to, but it just feels like Abaddon doesn't have anything to do right now. Because if Abaddon dies, he's just another Chaos Space Marine who's role-playing as Horus. We doing good, Evan. We doing good. How you doing? But my whole thing right now is I think the most useful thing Abaddon could do is die in the setting, just so that way another Chaos Primarch can take over. Got an A in my anatomy class and I'm rewarding myself by building Adeptus Sororitas army. Based. I love the Adeptus Sororitas so much. Once I get a bit better with painting armor, I'm hoping to go to a Sororitas army. But yeah, my idea right now is just, Lord, have one of the, have Abaddon die and let the Chaos Primarchs take over. Just because of the Chaos Primarchs take over, then there's somebody who's a bit more of a threat to Gilliman, who's fighting against Gilliman, as he's essentially now the Emperor's stand-in for the Imperium. So I would say, have Abaddon die, and then let Lorgar take over for Abaddon. Just so that way the setting can progress, but then Chaos feels like it's being led by somebody who's a bit more of a threat. Especially because Lorgar kind of has the best reason to crusade against the Imperium. Like, Fulgrim kind of just fucks around. As much as I love Perturabo, because I love the Iron Warriors, Perturabo just wouldn't be the guy to lead a group right now, as far as the lore goes. So unless if we retcon some of what he's doing, or if we decide to just fuck him over, then there's not much we can really do with Perturabo. And if we bring back Lorgar, then we can find out just how much Corvus Corax has been harassing him over the past millennia. Because that is definitely my favorite meme, is just wake up, harass Lorgar. Have breakfast, harass Lorgar. Going to Star Custody soon to justify having Sororitas? That's fair. I would just say go for the Sororitas, because the Sororitas are the coolest faction in my opinion. Because the idea of everything's over the top works so much better with the Sororitas. Also, I am biased because the Sisters of Battle VR game was my first, like, Warhammer video game. And so, I would absolutely love to do that. Also, the Exorcist is one of the coolest kits that Games Workshop has right now. Like, a pipe organ missile launcher tank, that is hands down the coolest thing that they have. Yeah, Tracing the Infinite with the copy of, I'll say it's the clone of Fulgrim that was made by Fabius Bile, right? That one, I really want more Trazen, just because Trazen's kind of the best. I'd say he's the best character just to have as the neutral storyteller. Like, sure, yes, he's biased because he's on the Necron side, but straight up just having Trazen kind of be the history architect going, we're all dying, but I want to learn and document as much as I can. it's just more compelling to have Trazen do things as compared to most other factions. That, and also because, quite honestly, Necron stories are really good. I mean, they're better than Tyranid stories just because there's not much you can do with Tyranids except tell the story of how other people see the Tyranids rather than the Tyranids itself. He has, and that's what makes him more compelling as a storyteller. Because he will tell things as it is, but he also does make good observations, such as saying, yeah, that's a thing that happened. That's a thing that could happen. And as much as I don't like the animation style for Hammer and Bolter, Trazen just kidnapping a bunch of Chaos Space Marines and keeping them in a little labyrinth is absolutely hilarious. Like that scene where he just comes out and starts flexing on them going, oh, I know exactly why you're here. I know what you're doing, and I've seen it done multiple times. You are my prisoners, and you came here willingly every time. It is the funniest thing. Oh yeah, I absolutely love Trazen. He is the best of what there is for the Necrons. Trazen's really good, and then Silent King is good, just because he's kind of the whole reason behind everything happening. So I definitely enjoy him. But I don't know. Emotech, yeah, okay, yeah. Emotech is good. It's the rightful ruler. I don't remember too much about the difference between the Silent King and Emotech. I like them, but I don't have... I am very far behind on my Necron lore, because I focus more on Chaos and the Imperium. Especially because I played Rogue Trader quite a bit. But I need to read the books for the Necrons, because they do have a few good ones, and nobody will shut up about them either, so you know they're good. Yeah, there's not much I can do with the head right now as is, but that's just gonna be what it is. What sprue did I steal this from? Because I need to get the right shoulder pads for them. Rogue Trader, I got the video game for it from Owlcat, so it's very easy to play single player. I like Rogue Trader as a game. I will say, though, I was a little disappointed with Rogue Trader as a game, not because it's bad, but because it's very difficult to willingly be iconoclast if you're like me and you do not trust Chaos at all. Because most of Rogue Trader in the beginning of the game is very focused on like the Imperium versus Chaos. And so I like it a lot, but the main problem is my favorite faction are the Iron Warriors. I do not trust Chaos. At best, I think, like, at best, if I was an Iron Warrior, I'd be doing, like, Warpsmith shit, where I trap a demon in an engine or in a machine and use it as a shock troop so I don't kill anybody I actually care about or need. But straight up, there's no reason or interest that I have with using Chaos at all. And so at the beginning sections of the game, you don't have to deal with the Xenos too much, but everything's so focused on Chaos that I was only playing as a dogmatic character because I didn't want to deal with Chaos sorcery every time I went anywhere, because I don't trust Chaos. But the game itself is fun after that. There is a way to break combat in the game if you have a certain type of character and you take one character's special ability that I really enjoyed. Just because being able to one shot a boss on turn two felt really good. Outside of that, fun game, I do recommend Rogue Trader. However, to play Rogue Trader in person, I don't know enough people to organize that, or else I definitely would. But Age of Sigmar, I'm not too interested in anything from the Old World or Age of Sigmar except the Skaven. And I think I might just get the Skaven so I can use them in D&D as like a mob army to attack my players with. Because the Skaven are just fun. They're a really good faction, but I don't care for any of the other factions really in Age of Sigmar or anything else. Like Old World, I like the Skaven and I like the Aztec dinosaurs. And that's just about it. No shade to anybody who enjoys like the other factions. I just don't care. Like I just don't have any interest in playing them or getting into into Age of Sigmar and Old World. I'm not saying they're bad, they just never caught my attention, if that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, for now I like 40k more for how extreme and fun it gets. I can see Age of Sigmar and Old World. I know they have good moments because people tell me that there's some redeemable stuff in there. But straight up, most of what I do is I just like Skaven. Especially with all the memes of the Skaven go to Redwall. Because it's hilariously dumb. But yeah, I definitely see a lot of people when they say that the Old World and Age of Sigmar is kind of boring. Because Stormcast really, like the Stormcast Eternals, which are supposed to be like the fantasy space marines, they're all right. There wasn't much that caught my eye because it's essentially just Custodes with blue for their army colors, like their normal stuff. And when they die, they lose some of their memories every time they die. Not all, but just a certain few. It's like, well, that just doesn't. That just seems a little overpowered. And then, oh, they're tragic because they lose their memories with some memories with every death. It's like, okay, I don't care. Hey, Selection. Apparently, I mean, I've been having really good luck with people just swinging by and talking, so I've been having fun just with getting to know people, especially people who do the hobby. How have you been, though, man? Also, why are you awake right now? Isn't it supposed to be super... Because I know you're on the other side of the world from where I am. For me, it's only like, I think 2 p.m. right now. Yeah, it's 2:27 p.m. where I'm at. Granted, I'm always excited to see you around. It's only 3 a.m. I can't even judge because I've said that exact phrase before. I can't even judge. All right, all right. 5:30 p.m. where you're at? 3 hours sleep is okay. Here's what I'll say about that. You'll sleep at 4, fair enough. I will say this. I have spent most of my life being sleep deprived because of, I just normally had to work jobs and I don't sleep much. Sleep is important, don't get me wrong, but there are definitely times where I sacrifice sleep to do other things, so I'm in no position to judge on that. I would definitely say the 3 hours is passable as long as you can get your eyes to rest enough. Because I know for me, even if I don't get enough sleep, I need to have my eyes shut for a certain amount of time just so I can have my eyes rest. Because if I don't, gosh dang, my eyes get tired and delirious, and that's just not fun when you have to struggle to keep your eyelids open. You better be building. I mean, I am trying. And I'm also building to escape from the fact that I've got... Oh crap, that's coming out. No, 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 no. Stay back in there. Because I am building up the jet streams on this guy's pack, which is going to take a while. Ah, gotcha. Hey, as long as it balances out. I've been painting and nodding away, getting paint all over my hands. Yeah. I know that feeling. Okay. Got these. Are you from Florida? I am up in Oregon in the US. So right above California. But I've watched DMC till now, bro. I've seen the first 2 episodes. I haven't finished it yet. I have seen the first 2 episodes. I am hoping to finish it tomorrow because I just need to binge it and get it done because it has been a while. And I did promise you I would watch all of it and get it finished. So tomorrow is when I'm going to be able to do it. Because tonight I have to go do a few things beforehand after stream. But yeah, no, I have started it. I've seen the first 2 episodes. But have not finished it yet. In my defense, in my very bad defense, I've been hanging out with a friend and we've been opening card packs for Magic the Gathering because we're both building new decks. That is the only defense I can offer for why I haven't finished it yet. Because I haven't even been watching the Gundam series that I got started on. So I am falling behind on my watch list and my watch order to figure everything out. Thank you kindly, Gabriel. Thank you kindly. Take care, man, and I'll see you whenever I see you next. But I wish you luck in the real world, and I hope everything goes well. But take care until then, and hopefully nothing too crazy happens. We already have enough crazy things happening as is. I think throwing a shield onto that shoulder is probably going to work well. So we're going to find a shield wherever I can find one. Man, what sprue is that shield on? Now I can't even remember where my shoulder shields are. Ah! Okay. Okay. I have tweezers. I should just put them to use. So we're gonna get some of that on there. Or not. Okay. Gosh dang. Man, this stuff does not want to work right now. Not the best, but it works well enough. Yeah, yeah. I just didn't want to wait but till late tonight to start streaming again, because I got this guy glued on to the coral reef, so I've been happy with that. Oh shoot, that probably dislodged a few things. Get back on top. But I had been gluing down the jet stream for this guy's mobility pack, and it was mostly working. I'm losing grip on everything because I've super glued my fingers, so it's all smooth right now, just like my brain. But yeah, that's just about everything I've been working on right now. I was a little impatient. I want to build up a few more guys. This guy I'm very excited to get, just because of how over the top this poses and the fact I was able to steal this arm from the Eradicators. Got me more excited with how the detail's going for him. But yeah. Also, for those who might have been there for the last stream, I can't find the other propeller that snapped off. So we're just going to say this guy has damage, and I'm going to probably just attack this ball a lot more to give it more damage. Just to explain more of why he's in the more defensive pose. But yeah, that's kind of just what I've been up to recently. But how have you been, Crab? It's been a little bit. Okay. I think what I want to do is I'm going to... Can I fit these guys? Yeah, I can fit 2. Okay, yeah. Decent amount of super glue. We're just gonna lock these things down in place. But, oh, okay. So once those lock down, I can just set this guy up like that. And I'm also going to peel off some of the super glue off my fingers real fast, just so I have a grip again, because gosh dang it, slipping and dropping and everything is not fun. With this guy, yeah, I gave him a gun. He's got a power fist on that arm, so grabbing things isn't going to be a strong suit. All right. Let's see how we want to. Yeah, so attach him there, attach his leg right there, and attach the power fist. Okay. Why is his fist bigger than his head? That's because this is a power fist. Basically, it's just a giant boxing glove that lets him punch through metal like it's tissue paper. Power fists are ridiculously good weapons in Warhammer, but they're also just kind of ridiculous in how they look. So that's why I've... So don't drop the soap. Yeah, definitely do not. This is so ridiculous for the pose, and yet I absolutely love this. This is so weird. Just emerging from the ferns. You! But yeah, no, that's why, if you look at my previous 2 things, you've got the Eradicators who've got normal-sized hands, and then you've got the Aggressors who have power fists just because it's part of their armor kit. So this guy's just got a power fist and a regular hand, and I'm just working with that. The ludicrous hand. Yeah, basically, yeah. I didn't know what to think of this pose, but the more I'm looking at this, the more excited I am for this guy. I don't know why. This just fills me with, like, it just feels good in a weird way. I should probably add a small thing of ferns or something in the back here to flesh it out more. Probably not drop him. That would also be a good thing to avoid. It really is a Superman pose, isn't it? I did not even register that. I think just a squatty thing here, just to fill in that dead space. There we go. I think I'm going to edit this guy in just so I can just have him pointing at somebody and just going, heresy. I think I might just change that into the thumbnail for this guy, because I absolutely love how this guy turned out. I didn't know what to expect, but this is working really well. So I've got these guys, for the most part, figured out. All right. Just need to get some balls onto this guy's pack real fast. Wherever the balls are, because I cannot keep track of my spruce to save my life, despite keeping them all in one stack. Oh boy, come on. This one doesn't have them. That's the Eradicator. There's the balls. Okay. Okay. Clean the mold lines. Nice. Honestly, I'm really excited to start getting Star Wars Legion stuff, because I have been slowly getting my kit bashing and my painting skills, so hopefully I can get a clone army that I feel proud to assemble. Of course, I'm going to do an Empire army as well, but clone army first because gotta go with the best guys first, right? So, excited to get that work on that started. Okay. 2 guys are done. But I assume with a heavy gunner, that's going to be the guy with the Gatling cannon. Or the rotary cannon, I think that's what they call it. Gosh, it's been so long since I looked at Star Wars weapon names, I don't even remember them. Oh, that's embarrassing. 12-year-old me would be really disappointed in myself right now. Whereas now I'm mostly just more confused than disappointed. But let's see. Next body. Yeah, between the painting process and the building process, the droids just seem like the worst ones to do. Because as cool as, like, the commando droids are, the droids in general are just super thin. So I think I might just try doing a bunch of super battle droids, and, like, maybe 2 of the regular... Oh, what model are they? Because you got the supers, then you've got, I think they're the B battle droids? I don't remember. Commandos are the worst. I can see it. 18 to 19. Okay. Like, that makes a lot of sense to me. Because the commandos are nothing but a hassle as is, so it makes sense that it'd be nothing but a hassle to assemble and build as well. The B1 had slots to keep it up. Really? The B1s were built better? That's hilarious. Kind of sad, but hilarious. It's gonna be because Clone Wars proportion. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, if they're doing Clone Wars proportions, that would make a lot of sense as to why they're super skinny. Because even the Clone Wars toys were super skinny for the clones. I remember as a kid going from, like, the Episode 3 clone toys, like those action figures, to the Clone Wars. There was just a noticeable difference. Really? The Droidicas? Oh, that's sad to hear. I was really excited for the Droidicas because they seemed like they would be really fun to build, especially with the posing you could try to pull off with them. Were they just skinny with no supports? Oh yeah, I've seen some beautiful Droidica models when people have finished building them. So that's kind of why I want to get some. Kind of Findlay. Well, you know what? That checks out, though. The best looking stuff is always going to be finicky at best, so makes sense. Disappointing to hear, though. Granted, there is an army for Star Wars Legions that I want to build that aren't officially in the game. But there's a YouTuber I follow called Eons of Battle who made the Gungan army from Episode 1 into an actual playable Star Wars Legion set. And I desperately want to get those minis because I love the Gungans so much, and I would absolutely love to do a Gungan army just to mess with people. Head crest, I think, has slots, but they are shallow. The hip skirts are on a ball piece. Oh. Oh, no. Yeah, I can see that being very complicated. Like, it might help with posing to an extent, but that's, yeah, that's a big hassle you're gonna have to deal with there. Well, when the time comes, I will buy some and I'll build them on stream. Rolling one is also hard to stand unless it's on its head. Ah, I would have thought the rolling one would have been the easiest one. Gosh dang. You really can't have shit with the droids, can ya? Not even a victory, apparently. Yeah. I plan to go through the pain just because I really like how... I mean, because my whole thing is with Warhammer and everything else, most likely I'm going to be like the only guy in my area who really builds up anything. And so what I want to do is I just want to build things up so that way my friends can borrow my armies and use them so they can get a feel for it if they want to try committing or not. So right now with Warhammer, I got a friend who he wants to build a Warhammer army, but he doesn't know if he actually is going to enjoy the game enough to actually put in the money to do it. And so part of what I'm doing is once I get a decent amount for the Space Marines built up, I'm going to get another faction. So that way we can play each other with my factions and he can get a feel to see if he wants to commit or not. Especially Grievous, who has a gun arm, the two connected arms, and the split arms as options. Ooh. I'm glad they got the customization for him, but yeah, that would complicate quite a bit. $25 and $24 for these legs. Lots of options. That's good to hear. $25, $24, $25, $24. Almost every set has options. That's really good, actually. Just giving options per set really does make it a lot more fun to build, especially when you got to get multiple copies of certain squads to play the game. So I appreciate that. But yeah, with my friends, for the most part, I want to get some Star Wars Legion stuff just because we all like the Clone Wars. And then most clone have helmets and heads for options. Nice, okay. Because I want to get a couple of stuff for Star Wars Legions, because I got a lot of friends who like the Clone Wars. It's just not everybody has the money to commit to building stuff, so if I can get something built up, I can let other people try it out and see if they want to join or not, and go in for the hype. Because one game that one of my friends and I are looking into is the Halo Shatterpoint game. And I found a bunch of minis on Etsy that are the ODSTs. And so for Shatterpoint, I definitely plan to get the Spartans, but then there's a lot of Covenant and ODST options on Etsy that I'm going to buy as well. Just so that way I can have a squad I really want to play. Just because Spartans are fine, but I'm also not... I'm more of an ODST fan. One common thing I saw was Crooked Star Wars, but I think hairdryer and you can straighten them. Ah, that makes sense. I mean, when you're casting stuff like this, things are definitely going to pop out. Crooked lightsabers, ooh, yeah. Yeah, crooked lightsabers, that makes sense. Because I've had a lot of people comment and tell me beforehand that the lightsabers were always a problem with everything on their minis. But I'm also told it's because I think they use PVC material for their minis. So it's a lot more flexible, which means that they bend a lot easier. It is more flexible? Okay, yeah. So yeah, hair dryer or submerge in water, in boiling water to soften them up and make them go. Definitely helps, but lots of finicky stuff you got to do and deal with. But then another thing I want to get into, because I enjoy minis a little too much, is I also want to get into the the Cyberpunk tabletop game, because I really liked Cyberpunk 2077, and I like Cyberpunk as a genre, and the fact that Cyberpunk 2077 came from a tabletop game definitely has me interested to try it out. So I'm definitely going to look into getting some of this Cyberpunk stuff. Mostly just because I think the setting would be fun, but it's also because I like playing tabletop games, but D&D has its limitations. And so I'm trying to work on modifying some stuff, because I'm trying to make an entire campaign based around Pokemon, both a mystery dungeon and a trainer form, so that I can grab a few friends and say, okay, you guys start in, like, which region do you guys want to start in? From there, these are the native Pokemon, these are the ones you can capture, these are the ones you can trade for. Who's your starting partner, and let's explore this region as a tabletop game. And then just change the battle so that every time they do a Pokemon battle, it's in the tabletop format. So they can do more things. It's just a matter of getting stats written out for all the Pokemon at different levels. And then I want to do a mystery dungeon version, which will be easier to make. But I also need to have friends who really enjoy the mystery dungeon games who are willing to commit to trying for that. And so far, most of my friends like Pokemon, but they don't like most of them haven't played the mystery dungeon games, so we shall see how that all goes. But been working on that stuff. I've got a Star Wars D&D campaign that I have in the works that I want to try out with people whenever I got a chance for that. The Cyberpunk tabletop game just sounds fun and offers different types of roleplay options that I can get away with that I like to try out. And Call of Cthulhu is fun, but Call of Cthulhu is also kind of difficult to run. Not as a game perspective, but more of, you got to get the right people who are willing to go, yeah, I'm willing to create a character just so they can die. But yeah, just have plans, schemes, and memes when it comes to doing all the tabletop stuff. Because I want to get into some, I want to try some more. But it's all just a complicated mess of what I can afford to do now and what I can afford to do later. But yeah, I'm thinking what I should do is one of these days when I finally have internet at my house up and running, so I can stream from my laptop. I think what I want to do is I want to focus on just streaming and like doing like kind of a community day with you guys, and just asking like, okay, let's write out a campaign for a Pokemon TTRPG. How do we want to do this? How do we want to make the rules? How do we want to get everybody working together? That kind of stuff. Because I think it'd be really good, but I am not the best at designing everything, and so I will definitely need help from people. So we shall see how it goes. But I think it'd be fun just to sit down, have a more casual stream, and talk with you guys about that kind of stuff. Huh. Can't bring these, can't bring these. Those won't work. Okay, yeah, we're gonna have to make the most vile campaign for you. You know what? That's okay. I'm an adult playing Pokemon games. Going down the more vile parts of it for how dark and honestly depressing Pokemon can be. It's a perfect time. You can straight up full send and it will work. And if I end up traumatizing my players, then I did my job right as a DM. So we can definitely work on something. Let's see. I don't believe I have the instructions for my eradicators anymore, which I don't know where those have disappeared to because I was trying to keep a hold of all of them. So we're going to wing it with the arms and hope that I choose the right ones for the gun. Because this guy's getting a melt-a-gun. Because having all these small handheld stuff, yeah, makes sense for mobility. But mobility isn't always what I want. Because come on, he's an Intercessor, right? I should be able to give him a Melta. He just flies with it. So he can fly right up to him and blast him in the face with it. Okay, yeah. That seems fine. However, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, I'm gonna shave that shoulder down. But yeah, part of what I'm hoping for is I want to build up an entire campaign, or at least a decent part of it, campaign where you change random things and gaslight the players. I mean, that is part of what you do in anything horror based or Call of Cthulhu, because I ran a one shot with my party where I based the mechanic of a haunted house off of the video game Eternal Darkness Sanity's Requiem, where basically I kept track of my player's sanity by having them roll intelligence or wisdom saving throws. Except they didn't make the saving throws, I rolled for them. So they would touch random objects, and if they passed, with me having their modifiers memorized, then nothing would happen. If they failed, then I would have fun with giving them like a random thing that happened to them just because they were not smart enough or their sanity did not hold well enough. And so gaslighting tabletop players is a very normal thing because you got to do it to make sure that you keep them on their toes. It's part of when you're running a game with a mystery as the central theme, you got to keep the mystery alive, but you can't be too gaslighty because you got to give a just enough amount of like, hey, no, 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 you said this. I didn't say this was incorrect. I just said you weren't correct. You know, that kind of dumb stuff. So you definitely got to do a little bit of gaslight gatekeep girl boss to make sure that your party stays on their toes. Where's my glue? But yeah, one thing I want to do is I want to build up a campaign solely based on just different Pokemon regions. Leave the kingdom on a quest from King Harold and they come back to King Dave. My friend may or may not have pulled that in a previous campaign I played, actually. It was very fun. Because when you get down to the nitty gritty of how magic can be used in D&D, you can get some fun shenanigans. But yeah, one of the things I want to do eventually is I want to do a Pokemon campaign where you just start in a region, but then it's kind of like, okay, the major gangs aren't really around, so you just kind of do your own thing. And then eventually there will be some antagonists, but it's more of, yeah, you're not saving the world, you're just doing your gym challenge. But then because it's based on us, you can use power of friendship to get everything done for, so your team doesn't have to be viable or have stats that are super good. It's just more of play with your favorite Pokemon, so that way if you want a team of 6 Caterpie to beat the Elite Four, you don't gotta over level for it, you just gotta play well. It's kind of what I want to organize and work for, because I think that'd just be fun. If the super glue won't stick to my fuse to my finger faster than the plastic, that would be nice. I like it. I like that crap. I like that a lot, actually. That's a good idea. Ah, crap. It's too much. Ah, oh, dang it. Okay, so we're just holding this till it fuses correctly. Gosh dang, I'm gonna have to shave so much super glue off this arm. Hi from Crab's wife. Hey Crab's wife, how you doing? Also good to kind of unofficially meet you. Let's see. Somewhere around there, yeah. She said good? Okay, that's good to hear. Oh. Where did I leave my... There it is. But no, that's good to hear. I'm always excited to hear that everybody's doing well. Okay, we're gonna be... I would say we are gonna be careful, but... Just gonna throw a few... Drop over here. Drop over here. We're just gonna hope for the best. I'm fusing this all in. Okay, that actually worked out better than I thought it would. Holy crap. Oh, I forgot to shave that off his shoulder. Ah, well. We call that a success as is, so we're gonna go with that. But no, that's good to hear. I have lost my train of thought. I was thinking of something. I had something I was gonna say. I don't remember anything right now. Gosh dang it. Okay. Maybe my brain is a little bit more fried than I gave myself credit for. But that's what I get for having to deal with going to hospitals and such. I'm never getting a straight answer from most of those people as is. I definitely will, Crab. I definitely will. Because you've had really good ideas in the past for things, and I've definitely stolen some ideas from you that you've told me about. I never take credit for them, but I have stolen the ideas to use in my campaigns. Because you have some really good ideas, and I do think that they have been very fun to use on the tabletop. So that's what I'm hoping for, is to just one of these days just sit down, open up a stream, and just go, okay, let's design some campaign ideas. Just so that way we start with some ideas, and then we flesh them out from there. Take credit. I mean, I still feel bad. Like, I'm just gonna, like, if I take an idea from somebody, I'm just gonna say, yeah, this is an idea that somebody else gave me, just because I feel bad if I don't give credit where credit is due. It's just, I'm always gonna, if somebody gives me ideas, I'm gonna definitely give credit. Or at least I'm gonna try my best to always remember to. I am an idiot, so I do forget things quite easily. But I try to go on my principles of I try to give credit. It's part of the reason why I try to have a notepad with me wherever I go, so I can always write down notes and not forget things. Because I am not the smartest man in the room. I am not the smartest man in general. I'm just an idiot who calls himself a degenerate, and so I like thinking about things. So that's really all I do. Not to mention I enjoy being a contrarian, so that's not... There's always crazy stuff that goes on there. But no, yesterday I went to go visit a friend because we were going to go open some Magic the Gathering packs because I got a giant box from Bloomborough. So I have 30 packs to open. I'm not the smartest man in Kansas. Yeah, that's fair. And so that's kind of where last night I ended up walking in, and he's talking with his brother, and they're going over some sort of fan art somebody made, where it was a bunch of Marvel, DC, and Jedi as like head to head who's winning this fight. And so I started looking over it with them because I showed up to that discussion late. And so Team 1 was Spider-Man and Darth Maul. Team 2 was Iron Man and Darth Vader. Team 3 was Batman and Yoda. And Team 4 was Luke and the Hulk. However, when I got there, they just said, yeah, we're just saying that we're replacing Hulk with Thor because Hulk with force powers with Luke Skywalker's kind of mops the floor with everything. And so we ended up having a discussion and a debate, and it really just came down to me just straight up going, yeah, Spider-Man has heightened senses with spider senses. All of a sudden, you're giving him the force to heighten that more. You're not hitting that asshole. He's jumping around making fun of you every chance he gets. That's all he's going to do. And pairing him with Maul, who's going to be super aggressive, that's just unfair. But having Thor with Luke Skywalker was very fitting, but then it led to more debate. Because then we started talking about prep time, because if you have prep time, Spider-Man and Iron Man are making gadgets and armor for Vader and for Maul so that they fight well together. But that's not exactly a good thing, but that's something that would happen if they just had a fight to the death. Gonna dip, have a good stream. Alright, take care, Crab. Have a good day, man. I'll see you when I see you next. Yeah, But yeah, no, that was a whole, I think, hour and a half discussion last night. It was a long time. But I had a lot of fun with that discussion just because it was a lot more of being able to nerd out and talk about something that was a little bit more exciting. But yeah, that definitely took up a lot more time than I thought. But I was excited because I got some new rats for my rat deck. Which, for anybody who's played Magic the Gathering knows that rat decks are mean. However, I wanted a deck that I knew was going to be good. So that way, whenever I had to, I'd just be able to play something that I knew would... Like, if I get tired of losing all the time, because my Leviathan deck is fine, but it's definitely not the best. And I don't mind a losing, but if I lose 5 games in a row, it's nice to win occasionally. Know what I mean? So, that and also I just like a Bloomburrow, and so having Vren from a Bloomburrow card pack kind of just went, yeah, I'm taking Vren. So, the rat deck is mostly assembled. I just need to buy more creatures. Oh, come on. There we go. Okay. Let's see, where's that sprue for this stuff? I need a right and a left for his jump pack. And then I need an extension so I can get that barrel. fully built up. Where is it? Come on, come on. Ha! Okay, found it. Okay. But yeah, no, just thinking back on everything. Because the one thing I like about tabletop games is I like the freedom it gives you. And I just feel like, and again, Nintendo's welcome to steal this idea from me. If they just made a Pokemon Mystery Dungeon or a regular Pokemon tabletop game where you can start in any city and you just go, okay, I'm in this city, I'm in this region, this is my starter, this is the team I want, this is how I can go about getting them. It'd be really fun to build that up. Or at least I think it would. Just because I am a Gen 3 simp, I think Emerald was the game I've put the most hours into for Pokemon. And I enjoy it the most, and I just like some of the Pokemon designs a lot. Like, we got my mascot Sableye, wherever she disappeared to. Ah, there she is. Got a little mascot back here. Because Sableye is one of my favorite. I love Swalot quite a bit. Torkoal's really fun. Like, I really enjoy just a lot of Gen 3 Pokemon. And I think just being able to do a tabletop where you start in one area and you can explore however you wish and take on the gym challenge at any level just with the team that you have, it'd be really fun. I think it'd be really good. But it'd also take a lot of careful planning and a lot of creating, because one thing I would do is I'd try to change the level gaps between Pokemon, just because going from level 1 to 100, that's a nightmare. No, that would not be fun. But having it be like a handful of levels from like maybe 1 to 20s, 1 to 20 is a lot, but somewhere between 1 to 20, maybe just 1 to 12 as a system, just so that way it's easier to train up Pokemon. It'd just be fun to be able to use those in your own adventure so that you choose, this is the path I want to go down, this is what I want to do, and I want to challenge the gyms in X order. But then it'd allow you to flesh out the actual region in your homebrew way of being able to meet NPCs, form bonds, relationships, get a job, do anything else. It'd just be a new way to experience Pokemon. And so that's just kind of been on my mind for a little while, because I love to do it. I love to make it work and see what I can do, but of course that all takes time, and I'd have to focus on figuring out how different movesets would work, how different moves and attacks work, just so that way things feel balanced, but are also nothing too broken. But who knows? That is a long time down the road from me developing and working on, because I got so much I have to figure out just with life in general, in the immediate sense, in the present, that it's goals I have for the future, but definitely not something I'm doing in the next few streams, that's for sure. But one day, it would be nice. Ooh. I might just need to end stream soon because I cannot hold on to this all that well. However, this is another guy done, so I just need to get some shoulders on him that I'm gonna have to shave down. But let's... because there has to be something I can prop him up on. Because this guy's on a thing of coral, this guy's coming through. How do I want to get this guy? Because I don't know about that rock, but maybe... because I did something like this. I could have it come out... So that's the case. Maybe I should just throw rock like this, coral like that. But do I want coral? Do I want... how do I want to arrange this? So I do that. Yeah, okay. Hold on, this might work well. Plunk that down first. Get that down. Get the beads out from my hands. Then carefully adjust this. Oh, these glass beads are going to be everywhere. And from there, yeah. Okay, because that would definitely have them stand somewhat solidly. All right, now where's that cap for my glue so I don't let this dry? Okay. So we started beads for this guy. Seem to be fairly solid on him. So we can get started on doing more of that tomorrow. I'll have to get some more beads thrown into here just so that way the the pack is going a bit stronger. I'm gonna need to get something to glue to the bottom of this base because it's very... He's leaning heavily. And so I need to get that done. This guy, probably I didn't know what to expect using a power fist, but I really like how this guy turned out. So, overall, I'd say we got 3 guys down, 1 guy that we're working with, and I just snapped off the beads, gosh dang it. So 3 guys down, 1 guy built, but gotta build his propulsion stuff to figure out. I'm gonna call it there just because I can't hold on to anything right now. I got too much glue on my fingers to go slightly crazy. But thank you everybody for stopping by, for swinging by, and for talking. It was fun talking with you guys, fun seeing everybody, but I'm gonna have to end it there. So take care, and I'll see you guys whenever I see you next. Until next time.